This is part 1 of the Tarmac FR, or front engine rear wheel drive walkthrough. Going to load Germany. Frauenberg. Midday clear. Group B, Opel Manta 400. Alright, so since I don't know what needs to be changed, I'm going to start with a shakedown. Calibrate my pedals, put it in the first gear.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 200 past junction, right 5. Into left 5
Already the gearing
junction.
Needs to be changed.
100. Crest past junction. Into right 6 over crest past junction.
Front end is wobbly.
80. Turn left.
There's a delay in the feedback,
80.
which I don't like.
Turn left 1 don't cut. 80.
Stops really well.
Left 6 over crest. Keep in. 150 through dip. Finish.
Alright. Well, the gearing I already know needs to be much longer. So I'm going to start with gearing. And likely it's going to be like this. So I'm going to start with that. And check the dampers. Front compression damper is good. Check the front spring rate. Well, the cambers, actually, those need to be changed. These are the tires seem similar to the 2010s style tire. They might not be the same compound or whatever, but they're similar width. Visually, I can't measure them. So I'm going to do that. Oh, also the rake. I'm going to do the ride height as well. There we go. It's 1.8 centimeters. That would be 2.2 centimeters, I think. Is that right? No. It would be 2.4 centimeters. Because the front end is at negative 24 millimeters. Okay. So I think I'm going to do this. Alright. Toe. Fine. I'm going to mess with the front toe. Oh. Just because I know I'm going to want a negative toe in the front. For the steering effect at high speeds. I'm going to go ahead and save the preset. And do another shakedown, checking the gears and the brakes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 200 100 past junction.
The first gear, I made that too
Right
tall.
5. Into left 5, don't cut, past junction.
Whoa, there's a bit of understeer.
Crest past junction. Into right 6 over crest, past junction. 80.
The front end does feel wobbly.
Turn left 1, don't cut, 80.
I get understeer
Turn left 1, don't cut, 80.
while tail braking.
Left 6 over crest, keep in.
Also need to shorten second gear.
150 through dip. Finish.
So first and second gear need to be shorter. And the brake bias needs to be moved back. So gears, probably bring that back to default. Probably bring that down to there. I want a little bit more even gear spacing. Something like that maybe. Alright, let's try that and move the brake bias back. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go down 4 from default. And save the preset.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 200 past junction.
First gear is a lot better.
Right 5. Into left 5, don't cut past junction. 100.
Yeah, a lot of mid-corner understeer.
Crest past junction. Into right 6 over crest past junction. 80. Turn left 1, don't cut. 80.
Oh, too much rear brake bias. Certainly too much rear brake bias. Whoa, stalled.
Turn left 1, don't cut. 80. Left 6 over crest, keep in. 150 through dip. To finish.
Okay, so I need to move the brake bias forward. Going up 2 from there. And I'm definitely going to want to increase the front spring rate because the front end is very wobbly in the steering. I get a delay in the feedback. But I'm getting mid-corner understeer, so I'm going to have to change the anti-roll to
5, 4, 3,
change that.
2, 1, go. 200 past junction. Right 5. Into left 5, don't cut past junction. 100. Crest past junction. Into right 6 over crest past junction. 80. Turn left 1, don't cut. 80. Turn left 1, don't cut. 80.
So I got
Left 6 over
oversteer
crest,
mid-corner
keep
on the
in.
brakes, but it's stable
150 through
in a
dip.
straight line. So I'm going to try, instead of
Finish.
stabilizing the car on the brakes with the brake bias, I'm going to use the front spring to increase the rear grip on the brakes. And I'm going to go, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, up 4 from default. This anti-roll can probably come way down as well. So I'm going to go down 3. And these two do affect each other, but the spring rate mostly affects the braking performance, and the anti-roll mostly affects the mid-corner performance. So we'll see how that does. However, that is technically too many changes to make at one time if you're trying to figure out what things are doing. But I'm going to try and do it this way anyway. And hopefully the reduction in anti-roll bar will offset the increase in front spring rate.
4, 3, 2, 1, go. 200 past junction. Right 5. Into left 5, don't cut past junction.
Oh, late on
100.
turn in. I messed that up.
Crest past junction.
Still getting
Into
understeer
right
though.
6 over crest past junction. 80. Turn left 1, don't cut. 80. Turn left 1, don't cut. 80. Left 6 over crest, keep in.
So the car is much better while trail braking. It'll still oversteer. I can still increase the front spring rate. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to increase the front spring rate. Let's look at the rear end. Anti-roll is in the middle somewhere. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go up 2 and see how that does.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 200 past junction. Right 5. Into left 5, don't
Let's
cut
see if I can
past
turn
junction.
in at the right time.
100.
So I'm getting,
Crest past junction.
I'm not
Into
getting
right
enough
6 over crest past
mid-corner
junction. 80.
performance.
Turn left 1, don't cut. 80. Turn left 1, don't cut. 80.
So I'm going to change the rear anti-roll.
Left 6 over crest, keep in.
And I think I need to move the brake bias forward.
150 through dip.
But I'm going
To
to
finish.
first increase the front spring rate and try that out. But I definitely need to increase the rear anti-roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, up 2, and try that out. And then also increase the front spring rate and see how that does. So I want to increase the front spring rate and keep the brake bias as far back as possible until the car starts to snap loose on the brakes, and then move the brake bias forward from there, and then reduce the front spring rate to make the car steer on the brakes the way I want.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 200 past junction. Right 5. Into left 5, don't cut past junction. 100. Crest past junction.
Still getting
Into
mid-corner
right 6 over
understeer.
crest past junction. 80. Turn left 1, don't cut. 80. Turn left 1, don't cut. 80.
The car is actually performing
Left
pretty
6
well.
over crest, keep in.
It's actually understeering a little bit on the brakes.
150 through dip.
So I'm going to try, instead of messing with the brake bias, I'm going to mess with the anti-roll to get the car to oversteer a little bit more on the brakes. Even though the anti-roll affects the mid-corner performance mostly, it still affects the entry performance as well as exit performance. And I'm trying to do it a more accelerated rate of finding out what vehicle settings I want.
5, 4.
So I'm changing too many
3,
things basically.
2, 1. Go.
But I'm paying attention
200 past
to where the car
right 5.
is affected by those things.
Into left 5, don't cut past junction.
So right now, mid-corner, I'm paying attention.
100.
It's mostly anti-roll.
Crest past junction.
And I'm still getting
Into
understeer.
right 6 over crest past junction. 80. Turn left 1, don't cut. 80. Turn left 1, don't cut.
The car is very
80.
stable on the brakes.
Left
Let's
6
see
over
how
crest,
if it'll
keep
lock
in.
up. Locks up all 4 tires, mid-corner, or
150
over
through
braking,
dip.
mid-corner.
Finish.
So I'm going to try to change the, I'm still getting understeer mid-corner. So I'm making anti-roll changes in the high-speed section, that is. I'm getting understeer in the high-speed section. And I don't want to rely on the rear spring rate for mid-corner performance, but I want to rely on the spring rate in the rear for throttle performance. Get a little push or a little bit of oversteer by increasing the spring rate in combination with the already set anti-roll bar. So anyway, let's do another shakedown. Hopefully the mic is recording. I didn't do a audio test before this.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 200 past junction. Right 5.
First gear might need to be
Into left
a
5,
little
don't
bit
cut
shorter.
past junction. 100. Crest past
So
junction.
this,
Into right 6
the
over
car
crest past junction.
understeers a little bit, but
80.
it goes through the
Turn left
corners
1,
a
don't
little
cut.
bit sideways.
80. Turn left
A lot
1,
more
don't cut.
oversteer on the
80.
brakes now.
Left 6 over crest, keep in.
I need to shorten
150
first
through
and
dip.
second, it seems.
Finish.
So I should mess with the... Oh, there's no tender springs. Never mind. I should mess with the bump damping. I'm going to do the usual. Drop it down 2 notches from defaults on the bump threshold, and then all the way down on the rebound threshold. Rebound, fast bump. I'm just doing this because it seems to work. Again, it might not be the optimum settings, but I don't want to have to mess around with this too much because it takes a lot of time to figure out what the car is doing on the bumps. Rear damping, huh? Okay, so gears. All right, what was the car doing? Understeering a little bit mid-corner. The car was getting some pretty good oversteer on the brakes, and it's not uncontrollable. So I can change the driving lock preload, or driving lock, the braking lock, and the preload if I need to. I may want to reduce the driving lock to get the car to oversteer a bit more, or not resist rotation in the I don't know, in the faster sections where you're not turning very hard. Let's see what can change. I can increase the rear spring rate to get more oversteer on throttle. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Going up 4 from default. And the last shakedown.
5, 4.
See how the gears are.
3, 2, 1, go. 200 past junction.
First gear is much better.
Right 5. Into left 5, don't cut, past junction. 100. Crest, past junction. Into right 6, over crest, past junction. 80. Turn left 1, don't cut. 80.
Oh, I should have shifted up into 5th. Oh, a lot more braking oversteer
Turn left 1, don't cut.
with that rear
80.
spring change.
Left 6 over crest, keep in. 150 through dip.
So I need to reduce that rear spring rate. And figure out somehow figure out how to get this car to turn mid-corner. So suspension, 1, 2, 3, 4, going down 2, and then what's the damping like? It's already really high. I'm going to mess with the differential then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What? That's 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Weird. Usually the whole slider is increments of, or as a max of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going down 6 on the driving lock. All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 200 past junction. Right 5. Into left 5, don't cut, past junction. 100. Crest, past junction. Into right 6, over crest, past junction. 80. Turn left 1, don't cut, 80. Turn
The car is a lot more stable on the
80.
brakes.
Left 6 over crest, keep in.
It'll still lock up the rear.
150 through dip, and crest past junction. Care jump maybe past junction. 80 past junction. Right 6, 100. Crest and crest. Caution braking, turn right 1. Don't cut. Into turn right 1, don't cut, past junction. 80.
Reduce the brake force and lower
Past junction.
second
80.
gear a little
Left
bit.
6. Right 4 past junction, 80. Left 5. 100 past junctions. Right 5 over crest. Care left 3, don't cut, past junction. Double caution, dip, right 5, immediate hairpin left round bales, keep in, rocks on exit, 200.
The car is definitely stable.
Crest jump maybe, 80.
However, it's a little bit
Junction.
understeery
Into left
in these
6
high-speed
long
corners.
bump and crest. Caution braking left 3, right 6, 130. Caution right 5. And to turn right 4, don't cut. Into turn square left, don't cut, keep in, rocks on exit. 250 crest. And caution crest, immediate left 5, don't cut. 250 down.
Very stable over the crest.
Through dip, don't cut narrows. 80 crest. Into right 5. Left 6. Caution braking, turn square right, deceptive. 40, past junction. 80. Turn left 1 long, cut. 60. Right 5 long, 100 through dip.
The brakes are a little bit too sensitive. Need to reduce the brake force.
Don't cut, opens. 100.
Need to reduce the rear spring rate.
Entry, 150.
To stabilize the car on the brakes a little bit.
Chicane left entry, 200.
While turning, that is. The car is stable on the brakes in a straight line.
Care turn square right, don't cut, truck on exit. 60 crest. Past junction. Right 3, don't cut. 100 through dip, past junction. Left 5 tightens 3, don't cut, 60. Right 3 opens long, past junction. Down. Turn square
a little
right,
bit of push.
don't cut, 80.
On throttle. Whoa.
Left 5 long, don't cut, 150.
Yep. Grass, well, there's no grip on it. Hit that tree pretty hard.
Caution, turn right 2, don't cut. Immediate turn left 4, don't cut. 150 past lay-bys. Right 5 continues 100. Into caution, turn left 5 bad camber, keep mid on exit, past junction, 80, crest. Left 4 over crest, don't cut, 80.
Ooh. Pushing
Right
that a little
6,
too
don't
hard.
cut, 80. Bump dip. Right 3 half long, don't
That
cut,
rear
past
damper needs to be
junction.
softened.
Left 6 past
Compression
junction, don't
damper.
cut.
It's a little
And
snappy.
dip. Right 5, 60 past junction, 80, crest. Turn left 2, don't cut. 100. Caution braking, turn open hairpin
Yeah,
right,
it's a little
don't
snappy
cut.
on the brakes too.
Turn acute left, don't cut. 150. Crest past junction, left 5, into right 5 over crest. Into caution, left 5 long, braking through gate. Turn right 3, don't cut. And right 5 tightens forward through dip. Into left 4, don't cut. Opens long, 80. Caution hairpin left, down. Into acute right, down. Into left 6, 80. Right 6, 80. Care right 4 rocks on exit. Left 5, 100 through dip. Caution braking, open hairpin left. Down, into hairpin right, don't cut, 200. Left 5 over crest, deceptive, 100 down. Caution braking, turn open hairpin right, don't cut, 80.
Brakes are way too sensitive.
Right 6, through dip, 100. Double caution, keep left at junction, jump maybe, keep mid, rocks on exit. Through dip, right 6 to finish.
I can actually increase the ride height. That will increase the front end sway, which will reduce the, what is it? The car will be overall less nimble, but the front end will be a little bit more, it'll sway more. Since the anti-roll bar is all the way at the minimum, I can't lower it anymore. I'm trying to get rid of the understeer. Alright, well, I'll figure out those problems in the next one.